From the Good Vibrations studios at the West Coast Funny Car Factory, these are the Nitro Reports. Now, here are your hosts, Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Donnie Couch here for the Nitro Reports. We're down here at McLeod Clutches in Anaheim, California. We're going to go over some of the pro clutches, we call them, Nitro clutches, that the nostalgia guys use. And we got some NE1 dragster guys send their clutches in. We certify them, we rebuild them. In most cases, rebuilding them, you got to change the segments. These bolt to the titanium flywheel. They're a steel plate. They bolt on here, so it makes a perfect circle, like that. And then we grind it flat to make sure. With the racing clutches, flatness is the most important. So once you have that facing there on the flywheel, you're going to put a clutch plate on it, and that's what it wears on, those segments. Then you'll have a floater plate, another clutch disc, a floater plate, and another clutch disc, which makes it 3 for the Nostalgia Funny Cars. 3 clutch discs, 2 floaters. They got a titanium hat, titanium flywheel. They have to be inspected every year. So people send them here to McLeod Clutches, and we recertify them, put the SFI sticker on them, and give them their proper paperwork so they could take it to the tech person at their local racetrack. But in this case, we got quite a few on the bench here that we're rebuilding and putting together. And it's just quite a process. It takes a lot of time to get the old segments out. You can see all the wear on that compared to a new one. See the different colors? That's all the heat cycles these facings go through. And they're pretty hard to get out with the Allen bolts that are on there because of all the heat cycles these clutches go through. Getting hot and cold on a run, and it gets pretty tedious when you go to service them. As you can see here, here's the hat. It's got 6 fingers in it. Stall speed springs, adjusted for the idle, however the car pulls. But, you know, on the modern day clutches at big show NHRA cars, they've got 18 of these levers and a mechanism that holds them in and releases them to apply more pressure. In nostalgia racing, you can only have these 6 fingers and nothing to help them out with. Everything's manual. No automated stuff on timers. None of that. So it gets it's simplified clutch, but they're pretty complicated, and you got to maintain them all the time. So like I said, they send them down here to McLeod Clutches in Anaheim, and we rebuild them, put new facings on them. We got clutch discs. Bonifani clutch discs, which we get by the batch. So all the discs come out of the same batch that we get, which is most important. A lot of guys have discs they buy from people, and they're from all different batches. They could be soft, they could be hard, they could come apart. Ours are all Bonifanis, and it's the best disc on the market. Everybody uses them. There's only a couple other companies that even make them, but Bonifani's the #1 premier disc in racing.
Good Vibrations Motorsports specializes in the parts you need for gas, alcohol, and nitro engines. If you're muscling a funny car or top fueler down the quarter mile, cutting a rooster tail across the lake, or cruising the boulevard, Good Vibrations has the blower and fuel system solutions for your personal ride and race car. If you want to go fast, really fast, then Good Vibrations Motorsports is ready to hear from you at goodvibesracing.com.
This is Ron Capps. You're watching the Nitro Report.
Good.
Don't be a victim.
And we're back. Just wanted to mention a couple of things that I was talking to Kevin Stith at Stith Printing, one of our awesome advertisers and the guy who does our Nitro Report shirts. And we're giving 5 of them away this time. So send me a personal message, PM, on Facebook. If you're one of the first 5, I will send it to you for free. He's got a new shirt for Don Cook's Damn Yankee, which is a beautiful shirt. I've got I'll be including a photo of it here. But that'll be available on the Stith Printing website on Legends of Nitro. And go over there and take a look at some of the stuff. In fact, look at the shirt for the West Coast Funny Car Factory. There's a lot of good stuff there. A lot of shirts that you'll like to wear. And I wear them all the time. Well, they did this one. Stith, see? Lots of good stuff to see at Stith Printing and Legends of Nitro, and look them up on the old internet thing. But it's all set up, and there's a store on there that you can buy just about anything you want in just about any size you want. But look for the West Coast Funny Car Factory shirts, which are available. Let's get back to the show.
All right, so we talked about the consistency of the clutch disc, which most crew chiefs pay a lot of attention to. So we try to get the same batch numbers to everybody, and all the crew chiefs want the same batches. And then there's a hardness checker that you check, and it tells you how hard the disc is. Now we check them in 12 different places, 6 on each side, and it gives an average. Like this is a 67 hardness on the disc. And a lot of crew chiefs like that range. If they go to like a 40 hardness, that's softer and it wears the clutch more. And a harder disc, say a 70 to an 80, doesn't wear like it should. So every crew chief has his, particular hardness he wants to run, what batch number he wants to run, and they log them all. And they keep them in sets ready to go. It's something you don't do at the racetrack. You put it together at the shop. You've got the racks ready for in-between rounds. The crew puts them in and puts them out, and these are all logged for the crew chief, and he gets that information. And that's what makes these cars consistent. You'll see a lot of cars, like Bucky Austin's cars. There's just plenty of cars out there that are consistent. The ones that don't keep a good clutch program, you can tell. One run, they might go out there, make a good run. Next run, they're out there smoking the tires. It's all about the brain of the car, which I call the clutch, and maintaining the hardness and the batch count and keeping your clutch flat. All right, so we're so careful about the handling of the discs. As you can see in this packaging box for the discs, it holds 10, that they're like an eggshell goes in there. And then it gets a cover that goes on the top. And these discs don't hit each other during shipping. Like this is the way we get them. But when we ship them to you, you're going to get them the same way, because we really care about the condition they come in. We know our customers do too. So they've spent some extra money just to make a box that's like an egg crate and protects all the disc. So anyway, that's what we're doing down here at McLeod Clutches down here in Anaheim. I'm Donnie Couch. You're watching the Nitro Reports. Give me a call if you want your clutch gone through. I do it personally down here for you.
Stith Printing is your leader in corporate and individual identity marketing, with over 3 decades of delivering the best quality garments for your budget and promotions. At Stith Printing, we offer in-house design, providing strong graphic solutions for any project with fabric screen printing or high-density embroidery. Stith's diverse background and attention to detail gets the job done on time and on budget, then ships the job to your door. Whether you field an international racing team, a statewide construction company, a local softball team in a church league, or the convenience store down the street, Stith Printing has the crew to deliver your next printing and branding project. Good Vibrations Motorsports specializes in the parts you need for gas, alcohol, and nitro engines. If you're muscling a funny car or top fueler down the quarter mile, cutting a rooster tail across the lake, or cruising the boulevard, Good Vibrations has the blower and fuel system solutions for your personal ride and race car. If you want to go fast, really fast, then Good Vibrations Motorsports is ready to hear from you at goodvibesracing.com.
You're watching the Nitro Reports.
Hey, Donnie Couch here for the Nitro Reports. We're still down here at McLeod Industries, some of the best clutches in the business. And we're here with the number one employee, Krista Baldwin, right?
I don't know about number one employee, but definitely an employee.
Well, you got a lot of fans here that watch you run the A-Fuel dragster. And recently you got your top fuel license in your grandfather's car. How big was that?
It was huge. I mean, just the ability to run a top fuel dragster. I mean, you're going 10,000 horsepower down the track, 330 miles an hour. That in itself is insane, but to do it with my grandpa, it was just the cherry on top. And I'm really excited for this year and to, make my debut in the top fuel car. And, I'm still going to run the A-Fuel car here and there, but man, I can't wait to hit the gas again.
Well, Krista, when you got your license out there, was it Indy?
It was actually St. Louis.
St. Louis, that's right. You had some of the top crew guys in drag racing helping you, from the Lagana brothers and Anthony DeCero, who's the crew chief on the A-Fuel car, and you can name some of the others, man, but there was a ton of them out there.
There was a ton. I mean, it just goes to show like how close we are in this NHRA drag racing family. And when I started to embark and to make this plan of making the top fuel switch, I had a lot of people in my corner, a lot of great people in my corner. I mean, from Bobby and Dom Lagana, I mean, they were able to take the car and we completely took it apart, replumbed it, put everything back in order, and we wanted to make sure that Grandpa had a car, because we knew this was towards the end of his career. We wanted to make sure he got down that track with no problems at all. And so major thanks to Bobby and Dom Lagana. I mean, heck, all the people at DSR helped me between parts and tune-ups and all kinds of good stuff. And let's see, on the line we had Jimmy Prock was there, and he was hanging out, and Jill Prock, and of course Anthony was there with me from the A-Fuel car. And then, Bobby and Dom and my mom and Paul Lee and my grandpa and his whole crew. I mean, it was a star-studded event. And believe me, it definitely put on the extra pressure. But I'm so glad I did it. I'm glad I did it the way I did. And now for the future.
Right. And the amazing thing was Dom Lagana, before his accident, worked on that car and did all the stuff with his brother. And was actually laying in the hospital room watching it on FaceTime on the phone with his brother, and that's a pretty special deal right there.
It was. I mean, Dom put so much effort into that car, and of course the accident happened, and he was laying in the hospital bed like he said, but it was a miracle because I went out in the morning and I made a quick 60-foot run, brought it back, and then this was going to be it. Okay, second run, here we go, let's take it to half track. That's where they're all like, you're going to feel the clutch come in. It's going to be fast. I'm like, woo, okay, here we go. And so it was just sheer miracle that Dom decided to FaceTime Bobby at that moment as I was making the burnout. So Dom was able to watch all his hard work go down the track. And, when I got out the top end, there's some video out there. And it's showing all of us were crying, and Bobby came up to me and said Dom saw it, and he was so excited. And just to hear that Dom saw it, just, oh God, I could cry right now.
I was 3,000 miles away here in Los Angeles shedding a tear because I thought of Dom Lagana. And I thought of your father, Bobby Baldwin, who would be so proud of you. And I understand you got his car number that you're going to run on Grandpa's car.
Yes, I did. And, that was a huge thing, especially in the A-Fuel car. I also had his number, but I had to put a K next to it because someone else had that number in Top Alcohol Dragster. And so to have that number for Top Fuel, very full circle. We're full circle here. And even when I was staging the car for that first run, I thought to myself, I'm like, oh my God, Dad, here we go. This is it. This is what we're going for, you know. But, you know, of course, I knew he wasn't too far away. And, you know, just having all those people there, it made it so worth it.
Well, your dad was a good friend of mine. I really admired what he did in the sport, and I thought of him, and that's a big achievement for you, Krista. And I know you do a lot of stuff here at McLeod. You help Paulie on the funny car. You're backing him up on the starting line. You're running your A fuel car, now a top fuel car. What about Grandpa? Any indication that he was going to retire in Vegas, that he did?
You know, he was speaking of it for the whole year. He was trying to kind of make his plans on what he wanted to do. And then finally, you know, Friday at Vegas, he's like, I think this is it. So it's like, okay, Grandpa. And we tried to tell him to take it to the finish line, but he just didn't want to do that. And believe me, when we started that car Sunday morning against Leah Pruitt, there was chills going through my body, and when he rolled through the water box to hit that gas for the last time, I was crying. I'm glad I have my sunglasses on, because I was sitting there crying like a baby. And it's so surreal that, you know, I've watched him all my life, and then now it's my turn.
I've watched him all my life, too, and he's a great man, and there's nobody better than Chris Karamessinis and what he's contributed to the sport, and he's still around. What age was he finally when he retired?
90-something?
He won't tell us, but in the 90s, that's pretty stout, and he's still in good shape, and, you know, he'd probably like to hop in that car when he sees you running 560s and stuff.
Oh, yeah. No.
Or 360s.
The best part is we ran that 399 during my licensing run. I clicked it about 700 feet, and he's like, wow, well, I want to get back in the car. So, of course, that was St. Louis, so that's what made him go to Vegas. He's like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. So that was one of the reasons why he wanted to go to Vegas.
Well, it's a great story, and Krista, we wish you the best. And hopefully we see you in Gainesville. I know that's tentatively the plan, but you don't know with Grandpa. You're going to have to wait and see. But we wish you well. And thank you for being on Nitro Reports.
Thanks, guys.
She's Krista Baldwin. You're watching the Nitro Reports.